What's up, everybody? The Germ here. Gonna make a kind of unusual Germ video today. A buddy's been asking me to do a video like this for a long time, and I've been very hesitant to do it until today. As you guys can see by the title in the video here today, a little unusual. GameStop. So I got this love-hate relationship with GameStop. I'm sure that a lot of you guys have along with me. Now, I've had some problems in the past. Okay, I've kind of held them back, but today, I think I need to rant a little bit. So today is, I think it's the 13th. It's the 13th today, and today was a special day because a new Switch console was coming out, a new special edition, and I collect those. So I was very excited. I happen to have today off, and I rushed down to GameStop to go get a brand new Switch. Now I'm not gonna say which GameStop I went to, but if you guys know where I live, there's a couple GameStops in the area, and you guys can kind of narrow it down, let's say. So I'm gonna start out with I went to my GameStop today. I've been going there since, man, I can't even remember, since I was probably a teenager. I've been friendly with the last store manager. He is now the district manager for a different area. He got promoted, and there has gotten a new store manager. It's been there for a couple of years now, and he's all right, I guess we'll say. Until today. Now, I've had some beef with them before. My GameStop membership has expired. It expired about a year ago, and I was unsure if I was going to renew my membership or not. And I went in there one time, and they always ask me, and I always tell them, listen, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to get the membership. And this kid was so pushy, and I said, listen, dude, I don't want the membership. I had to tell him over and over again. If you guys have been in a GameStop, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let me know below if that's happened to you. They just don't stop. I didn't renew my membership for a while because they're so shaky, GameStop. I want them to survive, but I don't want to throw away 15 bucks. I know it's not a lot of money, but when you're not that confident in something, you don't want to, put more money into it. So I've kind of neglected that. Last time I was in, they're like, hey, do you want to renew your membership? No, I'm good. Alright, so today, this is the sequence of events for today. I go down to my local GameStop. Been going there for a long time. I go in there, there's a line, because today, a special edition Switch came out along with Bowser's Fury. And I wanted to pick up one of those special edition Nintendo Switches, because for the first time, okay, they came out with a special edition. Now, I'm going to show you guys this first, okay? This was, I believe, I want to say it was the 25th anniversary Nintendo Wii. This is a brand new sealed Nintendo Wii 25th anniversary edition. Very weird edition. Originally came out in Canada, but here in the United States, it came with Mario Kart Wii. Had no internet, did not play GameCube games as far as I remember. This is going back 10 years ago, right? Alright, so we're going to fast forward this today. Just wanted to show you guys that because I figured it was a little on subject. This is the brand new Nintendo Switch that just came out today. 35th anniversary. Fast forward 10 years. Okay, so I rushed over to my GameStop to get this. There's a little bit of a line. I called in advance. I called them up, hey, do you guys got any more Switch consoles left? We got a few. We can't hold any. Alright, no problem. Let me get down there. So I get down there about half an hour after open. There's, I don't know, there's 10 people in the store, which is their max, so they're watching the door. And there's probably 5 or 6 people in line. So I wait in line very patiently. There's 2 people at the counter. One's a store manager, one's an associate. I know them both. I get to my turn, I'm like, please don't get the store manager guy. Please don't get the store manager guy. Every time, you got to renew your membership. You want to renew your membership. And it just goes on and on. I know you're doing your job. I get it. I get it. No, I don't want to do it. Okay? Funny thing enough, today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a game, and I'm going to buy this console, and I'm going to renew my membership today because, I'm going to get a bunch of points. So I'm like, cool, I'll do that today. So he's like, oh, you're here for the new Switch console. He knows me. He knows what I'm there for. So I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, let me go grab one out of the back for you. I said, if you could grab me a minty box, I'm a collector. So he goes in the back. He brings back a Switch console. I'm like, awesome, man. I'm so excited to get this. And he says to me, he goes, you know about GameStop's new policy? I'm like, oh boy, here we go. He's like, well, they're only doing bundles now. I'm like, bundles? I'm like, this sounds familiar. If you go on GameStop's website, That's all they do is the bundles. When the systems are hard to get, they do the bundles. And I'm like, what do you mean I got to do a bundle? He's like, well, you got to buy the Switch, the game, any game, and a warranty. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. He goes, there's a way around that. And he gave me like a whole bunch of different alternatives. First, he started with the warranty and the game. I'm like, nah, dude. I was like, that's not right. So he's like, he goes, I know a way around that. He's like, you could do just the warranty and we could get around that. I'm like, dude, I collect. I'm not buying the warranty. I'm not buying a game now because I got a bad taste in my mouth. I just want to buy the console and I want to leave the store. He's like, well, he goes, you know what else I could do? He's like, instead of the game and the warranty, he's like, you could buy one of these bags, these reusable bags. Why the hell do I want a reusable bag from GameStop? I don't care. I don't want to use that. I have my own reusable bags we go grocery shopping with. I don't need another one that says GameStop on it or Mario. I don't want to be walking around the grocery store and, getting my bananas and people are like, oh, look, he's a Mario fan. Who cares? I don't want that. So he went from, you have to buy the Switch, the warranty, and a game to just buying a bag. I'm like, you know what, dude? I was like, I'm not worried about it. I said, I'll just go over to Target. The mall is right over in the area. So I go over to Target. I go over to the section where the video games are. And no Nintendo Switch. I'm like, oh boy. I said, this is not good. And I'm like, this is not a limited edition limited to GameStop. It's like all the stores are going to have these things, right? So I'm like, okay, all right, you know what? I got this. So I'm going to go up to Best Buy. So I go up to Best Buy upstairs. And I go over to the game section. No Nintendo Switches in the case. I'm like, oh god, this is not good. I'm now thinking that I might have to go back to GameStop and buy it from them and buy their bundle package with their reusable bag. So I go to the cashier. She goes on the keyboard, starts typing something up. She's like, oh, a new Switch came in. She's like, we have them in the back. She goes, I'll be right back. So she goes in the back, grabs one. She grabs it. And, I collect, so I asked her, I said, hey, can you give me the case that they come into, the big box? When you guys get them delivered, they come in a box of 4. Can I get that box? She thought it was a little weird, but she's like, yeah, okay, no problem. So she brings it back, and I told her what happened over at GameStop. And she's like, wow, that's crazy. Then a friend of mine who's the store manager comes over, and I tell him the story. He goes, that's nuts. He's like, I heard something like that about that store. So now I'm like, you know what, I want to test this out. So there's also a GameStop in this mall. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me go over to the GameStop in the mall real quick. Let me see what they have to say. So now I walk in with the Switch, one single Switch, in this big box that they come in. And, it's a recognizable box. It doesn't say Nintendo on it. But, if you're a store employee at a GameStop, you would recognize the box. And as soon as I walk in the store, the girl stops and she goes, why are you walking in with a Switch box? And I'm like, is that normally how you greet your customers? And she's like, no, I'm sorry. She's like, what can I help you with? And I apologized to her. I said, I'm a little apprehensive. And I told her what happened. I walked into a GameStop. They tried to upsell me on a bundle. And I wasn't happy about it. I said, but before I told her that, I asked her, I said, listen, I was just at another store. I said, I'm unhappy with the outcome. And I want to ask you a question very directly. I said, if I came in here and I just wanted to buy a Switch, I said, would you sell me just a Switch, or do I have to buy anything else? She said, no. She's like, you could buy just a Switch. I said, all right. I said, I was just curious. So, I thought it was very interesting that she said that. And I happened to actually, coincidentally, I liked her a lot. She was very nice, very helpful. After that, I told her what happened, and she said, we get a lot from that store. So I go back in my car, get in my car, and I start driving. And I said, you know what? Let me call some other GameStops and see what they say. So I call another GameStop in the area. I said, hey, I'm interested in purchasing a Switch, and I had a bad experience at another store. If I was to buy a Switch from your store, and I left it very vague, would I have to buy anything else, or can I just buy the Switch? I said, no, of course, you can just buy the Switch, absolutely. Okay, great, thank you so much. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just a coincidence. So I call another store in the area. Same exact response. Later at night, I stopped back into one of the original GameStops I called, and a different employee I saw. There was only one employee for that store at that time. So totally different when I talked to a girl. Then later in the evening I talked to a guy, and I stopped in GameStop. I told him what happened. He's like, man, we get that so much from that store. This is coming from someone who is a store manager for a GameStop. Now, I thought about calling corporate. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a D-bag. You know, I'm not going to go report this guy. But at the same token, you're doing this over and over again. You know, I did call him, and I called him out on it before I called all the stores to verify that information. I always verify everything. And all the stores said, no, that's not accurate. You could just buy it. He told me GameStop was only doing bundles, and that when the other stores they're gonna get in trouble. Not the case, from what I hear. He also told me when I called him out on it, he told me no. He goes, we're only doing bundles now. He goes, that's what every store is doing. That's what corporate wants, and you know, that's the way it is basically. And he's like, I'm sorry, you know, we don't want to lose your business. You're a good customer. I said, well, you know what? I really like your store. I really like the store a lot, but I really feel like you were trying to screw me over, man. I just wanted to come in there and buy a Switch. I buy a lot of merchandise from your store. I really like that store. I like most of the employees there, and I don't typically have a problem. I said, but I don't like someone trying to upsell me. You know, once I said no, I'm not interested, you should have just sold me the console and I should have been out there. So what I'm curious to is, have any of you guys had this similar experience? Have you guys ever gone into a GameStop and they tried to upsell you? And if you said no, that was it. That was the end. You weren't allowed to buy the product. Because, you know, GameStop seems to think they're the only company in town. You know, Best Buy sells Switches. Target sells Switches. Kohl's department store has Nintendo Switches. I don't know what GameStop's thinking, man. Is this the new norm for GameStop? Is this what they're doing? Because if so, they're going to lose a customer. They already lost me from that store. I'm not going back to that store. I have 2 other stores in my area that I can visit. So I'm just going to have to go to another store. But I'll never go back to that store again. So let me know in the comments below if you guys have shared any of this as an experience at GameStop. I know they got a bad rap. You know what? I'm trying to do my best to support their business, to keep them going, because we have no other video game chain in my area. You know, we don't have a retro video game store chain in the area. We have one retro game store and one that thinks they're a retro game store that sells Pokemon cards and Dragon Ball Z cards, but they have 10 video games on the shelf. We don't have another chain like GameStop. So I really don't want to lose GameStop, and I know people have some awful things to say about GameStop, about their experiences. So do me a favor, in the comments below, let me know if this has happened to you. Also, let me know what you did about it. I'm not the person that's going to call the district manager or the manager above that guy and throw this guy under the bus. Is that the right thing to do? Should I be doing that? I don't want to be that guy. You guys tell me if you guys have had this experience and if that's something I should do. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching the video. Thanks for listening to my rant. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. And definitely share it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.